So here we're going to test this for tolerance and patience and other virtues with our little muzzle holding test. The Labradoodle who avoided my hand did not avoid it in a sharp, threatening way. She simply maneuvered to escape my hand. So let's say I had put my hand closer and she had zipped away like that, but stayed frozen. Not good. So that's not good. The dog is avoiding your hand in a sharp, slightly threatening way. It's saying, I'm going to zip away, leave me alone. Now, if I go like this and the dog is like leaving the premises, it probably won't, because it's already done all the handling tests that show that it likes handling. So your other reaction that you may see on the 4th or the 5th time is, so the dog is actively threatening you, even though its mouth should be closed. If it's open, you probably want to stop testing right now. So, no, bad dog, don't test. Stop testing, put it back. A lot of adolescent dogs are going to not want their muzzle held because they would prefer to defuse the situation with playing. So instead of undergoing this constant muzzle holding 4 or 5 times in a row, they're going to say, well, maybe I can change the behavior of this person, and I'll do it by mouthy playing. So the first thing that happens is you put your hand there, and sort of accidentally you find that your hand is not over the dog's muzzle, but it's inside the mouth. I'm not being bitten. I just happen to have a hand inside the mouth, but it's because the dog opened its mouth and maneuvered so that my hand would end up there. And if I repeat it, the dog will say, oh, well, if I can put your hand in my mouth, let's do a little mouthy play. And then when your hand comes, it'll be, oh yeah, we're gonna play with this hand, ha ha ha, but you're not gonna get my muzzle, ha ha ha. And a lot of dogs will use play to avoid control. And this is a controlling behavior. It's pressing on the muzzle. It's a little bit dominant. And if a dog is friendly but it doesn't like it, it's going to use, some reasonable, nice interaction to avoid having that happen, but it still wants to play with you. If the mouthing is hard and pinchy, then you think, okay, this dog has a pretty uninhibited bite, and then maybe you want to do a little roughhousing and see if the dog gets too overexcited. When a dog realizes that mouthing does not stop you from coming again to its muzzle, a lot of dogs will quit mouthing and they'll say, oh well, this person's kind of weird, but what the heck. And then another thing that can happen is you do not want to approach fast. If you approach fast, you're going to get an aggressive reaction or a fearful reaction or no reaction, but you're not testing for aggression or fearfulness. This is not a safe test for that, and other things should have told you about that, other testing. Because some people said this test is not good for the dog. You're teaching the dog to react to somebody stressing it out a little bit. And that's true, and that's why you stop if there's any stress or problem, and that's also why you go really slowly, because slowness means that the dog sees the hand coming and decides, and has time to decide, what is my reaction going to be? How do I deal with this situation that has happened before, so I know that the same thing will happen, that my muzzle will be slightly pushed down. And that allows us to see the reaction, because we people are slow. And taking your hand away slowly avoids triggering the dog into thinking that it can threaten you into escaping, or triggering the dog that has been teased by a kid by their jerking their hand back to snap at a hand. You don't want to trigger a learned behavior like that. If the dog has learned that the owner tries to correct it and always chickens out at the last minute, then the dog will learn to bite when a hand approaches. So hand approaches. If you go fast, the dog may react one way or the other. If you retreat fast, the dog will be tempted to swallow the hand and maybe bite. So this is why this whole test is slow motion. Low stress is possible. You're not going to do it unless the dog has passed all the other handling tests, because that's a dog that's not stressed by this. I just want to emphasize that you do not do this with a dog that hasn't passed all the other tests. A million things could happen, and probably none of them are good.